Hi, everybody. This is Ms. Wasicki, and I am here with you to do another mini lesson on affixes. This time we are in the week, week 5, which is the week of Labor Day, and we're starting with Tuesday, September the 8th. Now, my Zoom has been acting up with the sharing of the screen, so I'm going to share the screen. I found go out and then come back in. It takes 2 times before it actually works, because I just went through this and then realized it didn't work. So I'm going to try it 2 times and pray that it works this time, y'all. Okay, so you should be able to access this document on your playlist and in Canvas for this week. And it has, like I said, our affixes for week 5. We, again, took these affixes, we found these by looking at our reading for this week from Bronx Masquerade, chapters 4 through 10. And we have 5 affixes, just like we always do. And one of those is a prefix, and the other 4 are suffixes. So, you know, prefixes come at the beginning of words, suffixes come at the end, and they change the meaning of the word, and often the part of speech as well. So let's look at our first prefix, our only prefix, mid. Now, this is a pretty simple prefix. Mid means middle, or the middle of a period of time. So from the story, we have the word midnight, and that's when you take mid, you put it together with the noun night, and you get the noun the middle of the night. Same thing with midsummer, means the middle of the summer, mid-afternoon, the middle of the afternoon. For my soccer players, midfield, middle of the soccer field, where the midfielders play, right? And so forth and so on. Okay, so that is mid. And right here, I'm going to take a little pause. I want to talk to you about your assignment, which of course is to put all of these affixes into Frayer models into your ELA notebook, just like you've been doing. And I just want to kind of show you my example with one of the words, in this case with, or prefix, suffixes, prefixes, affixes, whatever. In this case, I used mid. And I did this on a Google Doc, so I wasn't able to draw it and put mid in the middle of my graph. So just know that you would put in your, when you make your 5 Frayer models all on one page, right? You can fit them all on one page. In the middle, have a little circle where you put your affix. So my mid would go right here in the middle. Then I have my definition over here, the middle of a period of time, or middle. My examples are down here. And I have midnight, middle of the night, midfield, middle of the field, and midtown, middle of town. I chose midnight to write a sentence, so I highlighted midnight. You might want to just underline it, or you could highlight it, however you want to do it, to just indicate that's what you used your sentence and picture to go with. My sentence is, at the haunting hour of midnight, a horrific shriek filled the darkness. And make sure, you guys, when you're writing your sentences, that you are writing with correct grammar. You need a capital at the beginning, you need the correct ending punctuation at the end, and you're spelling everything correctly. So just be mindful of that. And then my picture is supposed to represent midnight. Again, you don't have to be a great artist to do this, but I mean, a little full moon, maybe some trees kind of, you know, that you pencil in, and just a little shadowing to make it look dark. Okay, so that's an example just to show you how to do your Frayer models. Now, going back, coming on down, I'm going to talk now about our suffixes. So first we have the suffix ance, ants. Also, ence, ents, means the same thing. Just wanted you guys to know that that is a spelling type of a thing. So depending on how you spell the word, some spellings would have ants, some spellings that would be correct would have ence. They both mean the same thing. And in this case, ants and ents means quality or state of. You add to certain verbs to form nouns, or to certain ant or ent adjectives to form nouns. So let's look at our example from the book is Renaissance, okay, which is a time period. And then we have important plus ance. Now in this case, important is a verb, right? So if we look up here, see how I'm talking about, I'm sorry, important would not be a verb. It's an adjective. I'm losing it. An adjective. If I said somebody is important, I am describing them, right? So certain ant or ent adjectives, we change the ant or the ent to ants or ents. And then in this case, important becomes importance. And that's when you change the ant of the adjective important to ance. It's the state or quality of being important. That's what importance means, okay? Perform, this is one of the situations where we have a verb, the verb perform. And we're going to take that ance and add it to perform, and it becomes the noun performance, which is a state of performing. And there are many more that you could come up with. Let's think a minute about adjectives. Okay, so we had, like I said, important, and I'm going to make that a lowercase I. Another example would be brilliant, like a diamond is brilliant. And if we wanted to change brilliant, that adjective, to brilliance, which is the state of being brilliant, okay? Another verb that we could change that has an ant or an ent would possibly, let me try to think of one really quick, seeing if one comes to mind. I can't think of one right off the top of my head. I thought I had one written down here, but I don't see one. Now you can take something like annoy, that's a verb, annoy, and add anc to it to become annoyance. So anyway, you could come up with more, I'm sure. So for the sake of time, I'm gonna keep moving. I've got less, less, which means without or a limited number. Now, earlier in the school year, I think it was our first group of affixes, we had full, F-U-L, which means full of. So the opposite of those words would be usually the less words, like careful, the opposite is careless. Fearful, the opposite is fearless. From the story, we have the word brainless, which means without a brain. Other examples, like I said, could be careless or fearless, without care, without fear. Coming on down, able is our next one, our next suffix. It means capable of, fit for, or given to being. So from the story, we have the example comfortable. When we put comfort and able together, it's something is capable of being in comfort. And then agreeable would be another example, able to agree easily. Adorable is another example, given to being adored, like a kitty cat. You could adore a kitty cat, right? A person is agreeable to whatever it is you're proposing. They are agreeing easily if they're agreeable with it. You didn't have to persuade them. They're okay with it. And then our last suffix is ish. Now this one has a formal definition and then a more informal definition. So let's talk about the formal definition first. Belonging to or having the characteristics of or like. So from our story, we have the example English. And English is belonging in this case to a nationality or ethnic group. Now, not all nationalities end in ISH, like African, right? Mexican. We could keep on going, but there are some like Swedish and Polish and Cornish that do end in ISH. So that's one way a word can end in ISH. Then you also have a characteristic of, like a characteristic of being a boy would be being boyish. So there's that, and then that's loosely tied in with our informal definition, which means a little bit or a little approximate bit. So you could say something is a little bit of whatever. In this case, I used purple, and if you add ish to purple, you get purple-ish. So a little hint of the color purple, it could be described as purple-ish. Say at midnight, that sky that I'm drawing in my Freyer model. I don't necessarily want to use black. Maybe I don't want to use blue. Maybe I want to add a little blue, black, and purple, all three, and it gives it a purple-ish or a hint of purple color. So there's all kinds of things you could take that's an adjective and add ish to it, and such as coldish, youngish, tallish. It's when something's not exactly one or the other, but it's a little bit of something, right? A lot of times people just use informally ish. Like if you said, oh, is that girl, hot? And somebody might say ish. So that's the informal use of the word, of this suffix. Just wanted to throw that out there. All right, so those are our affixes for the week, and I hope everybody has a really good short week, and I will see you with another mini lesson soon. Bye, guys.